Morning, Bill. How are you?
Good, Chris.
Just want to get your thoughts after you got the chance to look at the tape on the performance from the defense yesterday, and how significant is it when a defense is able to make the game-changing plays that they did? And did you see that going into the season as being a potential attribute for this group?
You know, first of all, I just got to give the defensive uh, coaching staff and players a lot of credit. They were well prepared. They read their keys well, played physical and aggressive, took advantage of some opportunities. Um, Playing from ahead and stopping the run and creating some passing distances was advantageous for us as well. But just in general, I thought they did a good job. The two big stops after the turnovers, after the sudden change, were um, I thought those were really important series for us. And then um, as you mentioned, when the Panthers got down there and they were getting into the scoring zone, the turnover there from JC, and then the interception in the end zone. Those are obviously point-saving plays and turned into a 7-point scoring play for us on the interception return. Then of course Jamie's play was just a tremendous play. I don't know how many athletes could make that catch, but um, it was a highlight play for sure. And but consistency and playing on all three downs well was really big for us. Players did a great job.
In regard to the run game as well, obviously each week dictates the matchups, but have you seen the growth there, and how important has that been?
Right. Well, it's all about team defense. You can't stop the running game with one or two guys. Everybody's got to do a good job of defeating blockers, and Carolina has a very good running game. Coach Rule and his staff um, run the ball well. They have good schemes, good ways to attack the defense. They don't have many. There's hardly there's not any free players. They get a hat on a hat. Everybody gets blocked, so you have to defeat blockers and do a good job on the backs. They have two really good backs there with Hubbard and McCaffrey carrying the ball yesterday, and even more on the Wildcat. They had good guys, with the ball in their hands, and so you just can't afford to give them a lot of space. There was a couple times when we did, and they hurt us on it. But I thought from a technique standpoint, fundamentally, our front linebackers and defensive line played well, and then there were a lot of times when Duggar and Phillips were around the line of scrimmage, and they fit into those linebacker level type run fits, well too. So, but really just good team defense, and again the coaching staff did a good job of preparing and then adjusting during the game when we got a couple different looks. The Panthers hadn't shown the Wildcat prior to our game, even though we anticipated we might get it. But until you see it, you don't really know how it's going to be played. So we had to make some adjustments during the game as well.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chris.
Next question, Phil Perry, followed by Evan Lazar.
Hey, Bill, just to kind of follow up on that, I'm curious. We talk about chemistry a lot of times on the offensive side of things. Defensively, with those run fits, can that just take some time for guys to kind of figure out how each other are working in those situations?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The more that we see it, the more aggressively it all starts up front. The guys on the line of scrimmage, their consistency and their dependability give the linebackers an opportunity to be more aggressive and can attack the line of scrimmage better because they know exactly where the guys in front are going to be. When you don't know where the guy in front of you is going to be, then you play with a little bit of hesitation and you're kind of waiting to see where he is and then where you go. And if the defensive line, if the guys on the line of scrimmage, including the outside linebackers, If they consistently, play things the way that the defense is designed, whether that's in a gap or on a man or on a stunt or whatever it is, then the guys behind them can play aggressively and fit on it accordingly, and that goes to the secondary as well. If the secondary knows where they're supposed to be, but if we're out of position on in front of them, whether it's the linebackers, the defensive line, then they have to adjust to that and try to fit it properly based on what they see. But if it's done right in the first place, then they can be a lot more aggressive and get to their area of responsibility and not be kind of in that let me see what's happening in front of me and then figure out where to go. It's just a lot easier if everybody's kind of where they are, and the linebackers and the DBs can then fit to their responsibilities. So again, against a team like Carolina, where they get a hat on a hat, zone plays, power plays, the aggressiveness and being able to really attack the line of scrimmage and not let them push the pile and pick up 5-6 yards just on a kind of a scrum type of play. That really comes from the aggressiveness and the technique. It all starts up front, but we did a good job for the most part in the running game there, and again against a good running team and good backs, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome, Phil.
My next question, Evan Lazar, followed by Terrence Holden.
Hey, Coach. Just recognizing that each game plan is different, each week is different, but do you feel like over the last couple of weeks, you guys defensively have been playing a little bit more zone coverage in the secondary here of late?
Yeah, we play both. Again, those decisions are game plan based, and sometimes as the game declares, they go one direction or another based on what the offense is doing, how they're trying to attack us, and so forth. But I think Steve does a good job of mixing things up on the calls. With the man, the zone, the pressure. I think our players are comfortable playing in all three types of fundamentally three types of defensive calls, and the variety is good, and trying to keep the offense off balance. But we work hard on all three phases or all three types of calls there in all down and distance situations, and I think there's a place for all of them. Might change a little bit from game to game based again on the way the game is declared, or what the matchups are going into the game, and what type of plays the opponent runs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question, Terrence Holden.
Morning. Thanks, Stacy. Bill, I'd love to just return to Jamie Collins for a minute, because the effect he's had on the field has been clear. That play more so than anything showed it, but I'd love to just hear the effect you see maybe in.
Right, you cut out there, Kara, but I think I got the idea on the question. The interception was a remarkable play, but actually the caused fumble that he had on McCaffrey was in the same category, where he spun back inside and was able to knock the ball out. He had a couple of good edge setting plays, and continues to help us in the kicking game with his force on the punts and blocking on the punt protection and on the punt return game. So he's really contributed in a lot of different ways, setting a good edge, playing off the ball, on the ball, special teams, rushing a passer, playing in coverage. So he's helped us in a lot of different ways, and it's good to have all the linebackers out there. I mean, we'll look forward to getting Chase and Harvey back, but for the last couple of weeks we've been able to maintain more of a consistency with our group and rotation and so forth. But Jamie's done a great job of doing whatever we ask him to do, doing it well, and really just helping the team, and not just the defense, but the team in any way he can. And that includes practice and as you mentioned, like doing things off the field as well. Thanks, Tara.
Thank you. Thanks. Sorry about the connection.
No worries.
Our next question, Nick O'Malley, followed by Matthew Fairbrook.
Hi, Bill. I wanted to ask about go back to the Mac Jones play in the strip sack. You said on the radio this morning that you got the sense that Mac thought that Burns had the ball. Do you think that Mac did anything penalty-wise on that play? And were you surprised by the reaction out of the Panthers, thinking that what Mac did on that play was dirty?
Yeah, what I said on the radio is what I thought. So.
But were you surprised to get such a strong reaction from the Panthers after the game on that play?
Yeah, I don't know. Just telling you what I saw on the play.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Looks like the last question from Matthew Fairbrook.
Morning, Bill. Wanted to ask you what you've seen generally out of the offensive line the last few weeks now that you've had kind of the same group together for a few games, and obviously they had a tough matchup yesterday against that Panthers defensive line.
Yeah, again, the Panthers are well coached. They're a very good fundamental team. They've got three dynamic players up there, and it's hard to get all three of those guys handled, all the time. And then, good linebackers behind them as well. And again, very, well coached, disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes there. You've got to do a good job and really win each of those battles. And they're hard to win on a down after down basis. So I thought we hung in there and battled pretty well. Obviously, certainly could have been better, but I think our offensive line is continued to improve throughout the course of the season. Our double team blocks, our combination blocks on the interior of the line, our pass protection in terms of passing off games and things like that. When the defense stunts, we've actually made some pretty good plays against that and taken advantage of that defensive movement. Yesterday we had to deal with a lot of secondary replacement man coverage and loading the box with Chin down there, and then we block him, and then somebody else would add in. And again, it's just it's kind of a numbers game in the running game. And again, good job by Carolina of making those fits and making it difficult on us. But again, I thought we battled pretty well, and when we were able to get our backs into some space, I thought our backs ran well. So, we just gotta, continue to play good complementary football in the running game, the passing game, play action, and dealing with the type of front that they presented yesterday was a challenge. But it's the NFL. We're going to see another good one this week. So, we just got to keep stepping up to the challenge and. Making positive plays. I think one of the biggest things that hurt us yesterday, of course, were the negative plays, the penalties. We were in too many long yardage situations that we should have been able to avoid. And it's one thing when they make a play. It's another thing when we have false starts, delay game penalties, and offensive holding and stuff like that just put us in too many long yardage situations, and they're just hard to overcome. So, but yeah, I think our offensive line has continued to develop. They've worked really hard. The communication's been really good. We've seen a lot of tough looks here last 3-4 weeks, and they've handled those pretty well.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Great, thank you.
With lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.